In this video, I want to talk about the data protection if you work with client data, with your own data, with private data, with whatever in all of these AI agents. And I want to start with the OpenAI API because for most agents, we should also work over the OpenAI API. Generally speaking, API and playground requests will not be used to train our models, and if you press on learn more, you have this whole article. And once again, I am not a lawyer, but we do not train on your business data. You own your inputs and outputs. You control how long your data is retained. This is not really relevant for the API. You decide also who has access. And for the security, we've been audited for SOC 2 compliance. And for ChatGPT Enterprise and the API. Data encryption at rest, AAS 256. So this is also an encryption method, like for example SHA 256, and in transit, and I don't know what this is, I need to be honest, like I am not an expert in this safety stuff. Visit our security portal to understand more about our security measures. And then they have the FAQ and you can also contact them and much more. But generally speaking, if we work over the API with these AI agents, we are safe. If you want to be 100% safe, and if you don't ever want to send something out to OpenAI, you need to work with local models. And you know how to do it. You can run Ollama, like Llama 3.1, install your model locally, and then you are 100% sure that nothing will ever happen with your data, because like you are never in the internet, nothing leaves your local machine. But of course you cannot sell these chatbots. They have inference on your own computer, but if you want to work with private data, let them run in Ollama. Use for example a Llama 3.1 model and you are ready to rock, but most likely you are not be able to use the strongest model. If you use for example an 8B model in Q4, this works for most hardware, but you are most likely not able to run a 70B or a 405B model. Like if you have a cluster of H100s in your house and you can run a 405B model locally, congratulations, then you should absolutely do that. Then we have also take a look at the Grok API. And if you press on the documentation, scroll down, go to policies, you see this right here. Terms of use, terms of sales, privacy and cookie policy, security, trademarks, copyrights, and so on. And you can and probably should read all of this. If you press on security, generally speaking, they say to you that you are safe, but of course, stuff like jailbreaks, they can never ever guarantee that this does not happen to you. You know what jailbreaks are, and of course, this can happen over any API. Not just Grok. And if you go back and want to read all of this for yourself, you can totally do this. Generally speaking, the same thing applies from the OpenAI API, but if you are a lawyer or an expert in this field, please go through all of this yourself. I am just a random guy that tries to help you out. So basically, you are safe, you can create what you want, and also your data should be safe over the OpenAI API, also over the Grok API, also over the Gemini API, also over all of these APIs. These companies, at least they promise us that we are safe, and if we don't want to believe them, we need to use a local model without internet access, so nothing leaves our local machine. But if you want to build software, we need to work over an API. This only works if you want to run these things locally. So basically that's it. And by the way, no, it's not possible to run uncensored models over an API because nobody wants to do this. So see you in the next one.